All right, y'all, pull up a chair and pass the sweet tea. Let's talk about Merle Haggard. What if I told you the man who wrote Mama Tried spent his 21st birthday behind the walls of San Quentin, then turned that hard road into some of the purest country music ever sung? That's Merle. Born in California to Okie parents chasing a better life, raised in a converted boxcar, and toughened by the Bakersfield sun and honky-tonk nights. When his daddy passed, the bottom fell out, and young Merle started running wild. Boxcars, bar rooms, and more than a few jail cells. He even saw Johnny Cash perform at San Quentin and thought, I don't want to die in here. He didn't. He walked out with calluses on his hands, a fire in his gut, and a head full of songs. Now, Merle hit the road with the Strangers and brought that Bakersfield bite to country radio. Steel guitars, sharp as barbed wire, Telecasters ringing like a Saturday night neon sign, and a voice that sounded like a friend telling you the truth you'd been avoiding. I'm a lonesome fugitive, branded man, sing me back home. Those weren't just singles, they were mile markers. Then came the run. Mama Tried, Okie from Muskogee, Workin Man Blues, The Fight Inside of Me, If We Make It Through December. Dozens of number ones. Songs for the folks who clocked in before daylight and loved their people even when the rent and the worry showed up the same day. Let's park a minute on Okie from Muskogee. Folks argued over that one, anthem or satire. Merle just grinned and said he was channeling his daddy's small-town pride and a little bus ride humor when the band passed a highway sign for Muskogee. That's Merle's magic trick. He could stand in a character's boots so well you'd swear he was singing your biography. He never stayed in one lane either. He cut Western swing and loved Bob Wills. He fiddled when he felt like it. He teamed up with Willie Nelson for Pancho and Lefty, rode shotgun with Clint Eastwood on Barroom Buddies, and traded lines with George Jones like two old mechanics swapping stories over a carburetor. He wrote Big City when the world started feeling crowded and Are the Good Times Really Over, when gas got high and people got low. And through it all, the Strangers laid down that no-frills, just-right shuffle like a house band for 1,000 Friday nights. I promised you a road story, so here's one for the porch. Years after San Quentin, Merle meets Johnny Cash backstage. Cash squints and says, "Do I know you?" And Merle says, "Yes, sir. You played for me at San Quentin." Cash scratches his head and goes, "I don't remember you being on the show." Merle smiles, "No, sir." I was in the audience. Only Merle could deliver a punchline that tender. For all that outlaw edge, he had a tender streak a mile wide. He loved his kids, doted on his band, and kept writing songs like Letters Home. His sons Ben and Noel picked up guitars and carried the torch. He built a life that kept one boot in the dust of Oildale and the other on the biggest stages in America. And somewhere along the way, the state of California pardoned him. How's that for a plot twist? Merle battled some health scares later on, but he stayed on the road till the tires were good and worn. He left us on April 6, 2016, his birthday, of all days, after a fight with pneumonia. Seems fitting for a man who did things his own way from the first chord to the last encore. If you listen close, you can still hear him in every bar that hires a band and in every kitchen where somebody's trying to make a dollar stretch till Friday. What did he leave behind? A blueprint. He taught country music how to be honest without being ugly, proud without being mean, nostalgic without being naive. He gave working folks a poet, drifters a preacher, and barflies a philosopher. You can hear his fingerprints on George Strait, Alan Jackson, and a whole new crop of storytellers who learned that the truth, sung plain, will outlast any trend. So here's to Merle Haggard, the outlaw poet, the Bakersfield bard, the man who turned a second chance into a lifetime of songs. If this story brought back some memories or made you want to spin a Merle record right now, tap that like button, subscribe to Classic Country TV, and share this with a friend who still keeps a quarter in the jukebox just in case Mama Tried comes up next.